Marina, Park, Program, Test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Test complete.
Test 1 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, everyone, we've got a great setting here this morning for the California Challenge Cup. First race to start at 7:30. It's a women's race with University of California Golden Bears in the West Lane, Lane 1, and UC Irvine's number 1 boat in the lane number 2, the East Lane. The crews are queuing up right now. It's really a nice morning out here. It's calm. Won't be hard for them to line up at all. The Cal crew is in golden singlets, and the Irvines are in black. So I would say we are about 30 seconds away from start here. For those of you that are watching from a drone's eye view, there's a large orange tetrahedron buoy that marks the starting line here. And we've got just enough of a southwest breeze here that it's blowing the crews over toward that buoy. So they're backing down now, and they'll come up to line up again here shortly. So here we go. First round, a nice duel between two of the University of California campuses, the Golden Bears from Berkeley and the Anteaters from UC Irvine. First race of the year for both crews, so this is all very exciting here. Little bit of a struggle getting lined up here. I think as the day goes on, the officials and the crews will get used to this little breeze and solve this. But for right now, we're backing down and getting lined up again. So stand by. The race course this morning here will be a southward direction race from here at the beautiful Newport Harbor Yacht Club, down the West Bay here in Newport Beach, and finish along about 15th Street. Marina Park, I think, is the name of the area there. There's a big lighthouse that they've built there, and I think we probably got Bob Newman on board there. And we got Jim Jorgensen out following the races in a coach boat. So we'll be starting here momentarily. Again, University of California in the yellow singlets in the West Lane, lane number 1, and the Irvine Anteaters in lane number 2 with the black singlets. Crews are almost aligned now. Any moment we'll be having a start here. And we've got a race here. And already the crews are a little bit off course, so it's getting excited here. It's looking a little bit more like NASCAR than crew racing, but the crews are coming out of the chute right now. California at rate 42, and Irvine in lane 2 at rate 39. Okay, and it was a little bit of a stagger start there at the beginning, but California has made up that difference already. And so the crews are about 250 meters into the race, and Cal has already taken about a half a boat length on the Anteaters from UCI. And if you are looking at this with our beautiful drone coverage here today, the crews are really close together. As a matter of fact, the oars are overlapping a bit, and California's going to take care of that because right now they're pulling away from the Anteaters, and I would say that probably in about 3 strokes, California's going to have open water on the Anteaters. And for rowers, rowing coaches, those 2 words, open water, of course, it depends on whether you're the givers or the receivers, but open water are the 2 best words to hear if you're out in front. And any minute now, we should be passing this race over to Jim Jorgensen, the legendary coach from Orange Coast and oarsman from UCLA. Jim, they should be just about in your area now, and I'm queuing up for the second race here again.
Thank you, Bob. Yes, they are. We're right at the halfway point, and at this particular juncture, California Golden Bears have about a boat length of clear water over UC Irvine. Once again, Cal with the yellow or golden singlets, Irvine in black, and very comfortable rowing for the Golden Bears. A perfect day for rowing, very little breeze, sheltered water. Tide is coming in until 9:11, but it's California still on the lead.
Johnny, Senator coming, you should already have a VP there, correct?
California is striking the water at 33.5 strokes per minute, continuing to move away from UC Irvine. With less than 400 meters to go, it's still California in lane 1, closest to the shore, and Irvine out here in lane 2. The oarswomen are looking into the sun, so it's a little challenging. But of course, the coxswain is looking forward as they're coming down to the last 250 meters of the race. California now by about 3.5, 4 boat lengths of clear water is taking a power 10, and they're going to drive the rate up to see what sort of time they can cover this 1,500 meter course. California now at 39.5 strokes per minute. Irvine at 39 as well. The finish line flag is up at the finish, and when you see it at the lighthouse drop down, that means that the first boat is across, and then when it comes back up, the second boat is across. So California, clear winner of race number 1, crosses the line now, and UC Irvine follows. Back to you at the start.
Everything's going like clockwork down here at the starting line. Jim, nice coverage of that first race. Race number 2 is underway with the crews, the Gauchos from UC Santa Barbara in lane number 1, the West Lane. And Jim, they should be just about down in your neighborhood pretty soon. And in lane number 2, it'll be Cal's B-Boat, Cal number 2. And as I'm saying that, and Jim's just about ready to pick up the race, race number 3 is queuing up already. So this is a wonderful event. It's really good that these races can go off so quickly and got such nice conditions here. In lane number 3, in a beautiful orange boat, we have Santa Clara University in lane number 1 and UC Santa Barbara number 2 in lane number 2, the East Lane. So we're queuing up for race number 3, and Jim, race number 1 or race number 2 should just about be in your neighborhood.
Yes, they are. Robert, thank you very much. Once again, same as the first, Golden Bears on the lead by substantial open water over the Gauchos. Once again, Cal is in lane number 2, and Santa Barbara is in lane number 1. Clear advantage for the Golden Bears, so we're going to cut it off here so we can cover the last half of the next race. So once again, California clear on the lead, followed by Santa Barbara.
And race number 3 is underway with Santa Clara women's crew in lane number 1 and Orange Coast College in lane number 2. Check that. The crews, I think, redrew for lanes. Orange Coast College be in lane 1 and Santa Clara in lane number 2. Really smart start. Orange Coast was sharp off of the line at rate 41, and they're about 200 meters into the race right now. And Orange Coast has got about a half a boat length now on Santa Barbara. Santa Clara, excuse me. They're coming up on 350 meters now. Orange Coast looks really sharp in that really nice looking orange shell. And they're pulling away steadily now from Santa Clara. They've got about, almost got open water now. And they're about to get down to that 500 meter mark where Jim Jorgensen will be picking up the crews. Nice overhead view from our drone here. Drone pilot Grant's doing a heck of a job here this morning.
All right, Bob, they're coming into view now, and much the closest so far this morning. And you are correct that Orange Coast in the program says they're in lane 2, but they're actually in lane 1. And Santa Clara is hanging tough. There's just a bit of clear water between the two crews as they approach the halfway point. Orange Coast very clean with their catches. Rowing at 32.5.
Have black singlets this morning, and UC Santa Barbara Gauchos in lane number 2 have yellow singlets on. This is eminent here. Okay, the crews are aligned, and the start calling the crews to the start, and they are off. And okay, the Anteaters in lane number 1 and Santa Barbara in lane number 2. Santa Barbara's off at about 38 strokes a minute, and they're out of there like a rocket. I'll tell you what, they're 20 strokes in and got a boat length on the Anteaters already. So the Gauchos from Lake Cachuma are off and running. Really tidy start for the Santa Barbara crew. And, you know, Mike Holmes is doing a good job with the Anteaters. He's a first-year women's coach over at UCI. My hat's off to them because they're, you know, they've got a really nice club going, and he and Mike Sullivan are showing some really great leadership to the Anteater men and women. And here we are about 300 meters in, and the Gauchos have about a boat length of open water right now, rowing at 35 strokes a minute. Beautiful drone's view. Drone pilot Grant here has really got a gift for this drone flight. Great stuff. And Jim, it's about in your area down there. We've passed about all the yachts that are on mooring cans. So Jim, pick it up when you're ready down there.
And I am ready, and here they come. Once again, in this particular race, in lane 1 is UC Irvine's number 2 crew, and in lane 2, furthest from the shore, UC Santa Barbara. And as Bob Ernst mentioned, the Gauchos jumped out at the start and continue to have clear water as they approach the halfway point. All right. You'll see the orange buoy come into play here. Santa Barbara rowing a comfortable and powerful 30 strokes per minute. Once again, the coxswain is telling the crew what their stroke rate is, helping out with how the boat needs to improve, and most importantly, telling them where they are with respect to the other boat. Right now, it's a clear 1 boat length of open water over UC. And it is rowing a bit higher at 34, a little bit rushed. Once again, ratio is also important. That is the time of the leg drive to when you release the blade from the water to rolling back on that moving seat to the next stroke. Now approaching the American Legion Hall with the Gauchos from UC Santa Barbara still on the lead and pretty much in control of this particular race. So I'll turn it back over to you, Bob, for the start of the next race.
All right, thanks, Jim. Wow, what a morning we got going here. It's coming up now, the first men's race of the day, and this race is loaded. I mean, in lane number 1, we got Santa Clara University, and in lane number 2, we've got Cal, and it looks right now like they're switching lanes, so that because Cal was lining up on the east side, so they're changing lanes right now and getting that all squared away. So the crews, in fact, are switching lanes, and Cal now is in lane 1 on the west side, and that's what they drew according to the program today. And Santa Clara is going to line up on the east lane, and Cal is in a white boat this morning with blue singlets, and Santa Clara is in a bright yellow boat. So the boat manufacturers are well represented this morning. The Cal crew's in a Hudson boat made up in Lucan, Ontario, Canada. And Santa Clara with the red oars and black singlets is in an Empacher boat built in Eberbach in Germany. So the crews are getting ready to go. We're in the right lanes now, and things should be happening here momentarily. By the way, Cal representing the national champion crew from last year. The varsity crew won out at the IRA last year, and Scott, the coach, is well represented here today. Crews are aligned right now, and the race is off. Cal's off at a 42, very deliberate, solid long strokes, and I'll tell you what, Santa Clara's not giving them an inch. It's a good race here in the first 150 meters. Santa Clara's about, the crews are about 150 meters in, and Santa Clara still at 41 and a half. And with our drone's eye view, Cal is, the crews are neck and neck. They are rowing stroke for stroke, and it's very even here. What a great race. Again, Cal is in lane 1 on the west side of the course in a white boat, and they have navy blue singlets. And Santa Clara is on lane 2 on the east side of the course, and they have red oar and black singlets. So about 350 meters in, California is starting to move away. They have about maybe a third to a half a length now on Santa Clara, and it's classic Cal rowing. Very long in the water and really solid. 36 strokes a minute. That's probably about what Scott has them training for. And this crew's really loaded. This would be Cal's. I happen to know that the first varsity and second varsity are racing in Las Vegas today. And so this would be Cal's third varsity. And this is a really important race because the third varsity counts for points for the Pac-12 championships, and it counts for the IRA national championships. So, Jim, have a look. This is a great race coming down and a couple of really good crews.
Thank you, Bob. Yes, it's the first race where we have an overlap. Santa Clara in lane 2. Their bow has not yet been passed by the California crew. Oh my goodness, you can certainly see the pedigree of University of California rowing in this race. Solid, direct catches, big explosive, and assist together, and now they've opened to clear water. Santa Clara is not going away though. Very tenacious, working their way back, trying to reestablish that overlap. California not not being conservative in terms of their stroke cadence. They're rowing at 37. Santa Clara at 36 and a half. I can hear the Cal coxswain wanting more from his crew as they take a power 10, perhaps a power 20 as they approach 250 meters to go. And with that move, they've moved out to a clear 1 boat length of open water over Santa Clara. So that being the case, we'll turn it back to you, Bob, with California, your race leader in lane 1.
Hey, thanks, Jim. And we're queuing up the next race already, and it will be UC San Diego, University of California, San Diego in lane number 1, and Cal's number 2 boat. And I have to admit, I'm not really sure. Cal brought 2 8s down today and they're on their men's side, and one is their first freshman boat, and one is their third varsity boat. And my guess is it's probably going to be pretty hard to tell the difference between the two out here. But queuing up for this race right now, and should be ready to go for the next race. So we've got UC San Diego in lane 1 on the west side, and Cal in lane number 2 on the east side of the course. And I would say that the aligner is just about ready to put that white flag up and call them a line. So race number 6, the crews are just about ready to go again. The San Diego crew, UC San Diego, is in a black boat, and the Cal crew is in a white boat. Both crews have on blue singlets today. So crews are struggling a little bit to get lined up. We've got a light southwest breeze that's sort of blowing them over to the right side of the course toward that big orange tetrahedron, which marks the start of our race course. Okay, we have alignment, and race number 6 is just about to go. And let's see. The Cal crew's off at 45, and I'll tell you what, San Diego is just flying out of the line. Both crews at 45 strokes a minute, with the UC San Diego in lane number 1 in the black boat. Looking good. They're both looking great. This is really a nice first 250 meters of this race. Given these races are about 1,400 meters long, I don't know whether there's a real settle into the race plan here, but I can tell you that about 300 meters in, UC San Diego has about a half a boat length lead over Cal and is rowing 38.5 strokes a minute. And Cal a very deliberate 36.5 strokes a minute. So it's still UC San Diego as we approach the 500 meter mark, and Jim pick it up with San Diego about a quarter of a length ahead of Cal.
Yes, indeed. The best, the closest boat race of the morning. With the Trident sitting there calling for a 10. This is This is boat racing. This is the way it should be. Stroke for stroke, throwing punches. Who's going to go down? It's the power of the will with UC San Diego with a 6-seat advantage over California. Get some stroke ratings here. San Diego still at 39 strokes per minute. Still maintaining that 6-seat advantage. Cal Coxon calls for a move here, for a push. They're at 38.5, and they're starting to move back ever so slowly, rowing a little bit lower, and now only 4 seats down. We're going to follow this race all the way to the finish because it's going to be a good one. I would even say at the finish, have your photo finish camera ready because it's back and forth. California now just 4 seats down, and they're going stroke for stroke. They're hitting the water exactly at the same time. Who has the bigger finish? Who has the bigger desire to make that boat go fast? UC San Diego moves out a little bit further, 5 seats over California. California rowing at 39 as we approach the first lighthouse. Bowman looks over. UC San Diego really determined to hold on to this lead. Still with a half a boat length advantage over California. The San Diego Coxon looks over and he's wanting more from his crew. He's going to the whip. Going to the whip and they're moving. We're 10 strokes from the finish. And UC San Diego in lane 1 still on the lead by 6 seats. Make it 7 seats over California. UC San Diego crosses the line first, followed by California. As we head back towards the starting line, the race that came without us being able to call it was Orange Coast College on the lead over LMU by Clearwater.
Okay, Jim, we're queuing up for the next race here if you're ready to let go. We're looking at race number 8 with UC Santa Barbara's A boat in lane 1 and UCLA, the Bruins, in lane number 2. And this is UCLA's number 1 boat. So the Gauchos in lane 1 in yellow singlets, and the Bruins in lane number 2 in a yellow boat with white singlets. And the crews are just about ready to go here for race number 8. They're aligned. And the starting commands. The crews are off. I'll tell you what, UCLA looks really sharp this morning. UCLA's off at 41 in the first 20 strokes, and the Gauchos from Santa Barbara are off in lane number 1. The crews are about 150 meters down the course, and UCLA is taking flight. They've almost got a boat length right now on Santa Barbara. These are number 1 boats. The UCLA Bruins, their club program there at UCLA is doing a really nice job, and I'm sure that they're going to have some super races here today and on through the racing season, and certainly the Bruin alums have a lot to be proud of, the job that they're doing with that program right now. Bruins at 37.5 strokes a minute have got open water now on UC Santa Barbara in lane number 1. Jim, they should be just about down in your zone now. It seems like we're past the cruiser, passing the last of the moored boats. So take it over, Jim. And, you know, knowing that you're a Bruin alum, I don't want to be hearing all this Sons of California and all that stuff down there, all right?
You won't. They are coming right in front of us as we approach the halfway point. And yes, in fact, your call is correct, Bob. UCLA in lane 2 with just a bit of clear water over UC Santa Barbara. The Bruins rolling in the Bob Newman have a nice rhythm, good rhythm over water at 38 strokes per minute. The Gauchos from Santa Barbara at 35.5. I can hear the coxswain from UCLA wanting more from the crew. Once again, early season racing, a good opportunity to see the level of their conditioning and to see, in fact, if they've got boat speed. And right now they do. Crew's now approaching the American Legion Hall with the Bruins from UCLA owning a 3/4 of a boat length of open water over Santa Barbara. Take one more stroke check before I turn around. But UCLA's in control of this race. We're on a very smooth 35.5. And Santa Barbara at 36. Back to you at the start.
Thanks, Tim. Nice job down there. We're lining up race number 9 of the men's varsity 8s here, heavyweight 8s. And in this race, we'll have Santa Clara's number 2 boat in lane number 1, and they're in a white boat. They have red oars with a white starburst on the oars and black singlets. And in lane number 2, we've got UCI Anteaters first boat, and they're in a white boat with yellow oars and yellow singlets. And we seem to be struggling a little bit here to avoid that orange tetrahedron starting buoy. When you look out on the water here at the start, there's just a little bit of fetch on the water, so the breeze is freshening a little bit. It's slowly swinging from a south breeze where we started the regatta this morning, and now it's swinging around to the west. So there's more breeze blowing the crews across the course from lane 1 to lane 2. So it seems to be a bit of a challenge for the starters and more of a challenge for the coxswains. So we're realigning, backing down a little bit here, getting ready. Gonna send them up towards the start again for race number 9. Lane 1, Santa Clara's number 2 boat, and lane number 2, the Irvine Anteaters number 1 boat. Mike Sullivan has taken over from AJ, the longtime famous coach. He really has revived the Irvine program. And now Mike Sullivan has taken over for AJ, and the Irvines are carrying on their tradition here in Newport Harbor. Irvine and Orange Coast share the rowing here in Newport Beach, at least is on the collegiate level, and both the programs are outstanding. Right, we're getting ready for a start here now. The aligner should be really just about ready to go. We got a coxswain's hand up, two coxswains' hands up. Okay, the two-man in the Irvine crew has passed his oar off to the three-man so that they can get headed down the course. And the crews are aligned. And they're off. Irvine has a really snappy little 46 stroke a minute start there. Really good, Coach Sullivan. And Santa Clara's about 20 strokes in at 42 and a half.
The crews are now approaching the halfway point. This is race number 9. Lane 1 is Santa Clara University. Lane 2 is UC Irvine. As the crews approach, it looks like there's still overlap with UC Irvine on the lead. UCI striking the water at 36.5 strokes per minute. Santa Clara's at 39. So if Irvine can be economic at a lower cadence, but powerful, that should pay off as they come down the course. All right, they're right in front of us now, as you can see. UC Irvine, with the black singlets and the gold undershirt, has a half a boat advantage, although Santa Clara is moving. Big move from the Broncos. They took the rate up to 40, and they're almost level with UC Irvine. So Santa Clara just kind of tapping the boat along. Very direct, very clean, crisp catches. They only sit one seat down now on UC Irvine. Both crews, coxswains are demanding more from them. Still, bow ball to bow ball. Irvine now starts moving back out, and they have a 2-seat advantage as we come to the American Legion Hall. The Irvine coxswain looks over and says, I want more, and she's got more. Almost 3 seats now. UC Irvine over Santa Clara. We're going to follow this one down close to the finish because it's a barn burner. It's a question of who wants it more, who is more efficient. And it's Santa Clara now putting on a robust move, making that lift, going for the line. It looks like Santa Clara is a little bit longer in terms of their reach and drive, and here they come. Had that camera ready at the finish line. Santa Clara, lane 1. UC Irvine, lane 2. Very close race here. Santa Clara seems to be eking their bow ahead. The flag is up at the finish line. The flag goes down for the first, up for the second. Too close to call. Irvine may have come back. We'll have to wait and see. Great boat race. As we head back towards the starting line, race number 10, that would be UC San Diego and UCLA number 2. UC San Diego was on the lead. We're coming back up to the halfway point, and we can see that race number 11, Orange Coast boat number 2, and San Diego State number 1 is coming down the course. As the crews approach the halfway point, your race leader in lane 1, OCC 2, leads San Diego State by 1 boat length. Coach Coxon calling for a power 10, wanting to extend the lead now of about a half a boat, 3/4 of a boat length of open water. Once again, if you're not familiar, Orange Coast College is a community college in Costa Mesa, celebrating their 70th year of collegiate rowing this year. Orange Coast maintains now about a boat length and a half of clear water over the Aztecs from San Diego State. Okay. Orange Coast clearly in control of this race over San Diego State. So we'll turn back and catch the race, get back in sequence. But it's Orange Coast College Pirates on the lead, rowing at 35.5 strokes per minute.
Liners in lane number 2 in the bright yellow singlets, and they're off. They're about 20 minutes down the course, and I would say that the Irvine crew has just about made up the stagger on Long Beach State now. Irvine at 35 strokes a minute, and Long Beach State at almost 40 strokes a minute. So they're paying the price to keep that margin on the anteaters. And right now, I would say that the anteaters are moving through Long Beach and understroking them by a significant amount. So, Jim, they should be down in your territory in just about no time. And my compliments to the starter and the aligner for being very patient and getting that race off a very tidy start.
Yes, Bob, the view now with Long Beach State steering towards the shore right now. I think they're wanting to avoid this large buoy signifying the halfway point, but it's still UC Irvine in lane 1. That's the UC Irvine number 2 boat on the lead. Overlap between the two crews. Irvine at 34 strokes per minute. Long Beach at 35 and a half. All right, they're now coming right abeam of us, and Irvine has close to 1 boat length advantage. Always much more fun for the rowers and for us spectating to see crews battling with an overlap. That being said, Irvine has just opened up about 10 feet of clear water. Anteaters at 34 strokes per minute with a comfortable lead. Once again, it's advantageous, of course, to race with the lead and try to come from behind. And Irvine's doing a nice job of that right now, opening up even more water. That is water between their stern and the bow of Long Beach State. We'll do one more stroke check before we turn around to pick up the next race with UC Irvine in lane 1. This is race number 12 on the lead. They've lowered it down a little bit to 33 strokes per minute as they approach the American Legion Hall. And Long Beach at 34 and a half. So Irvine's in control of this race. I'll turn it back over to you at the start, Bob.
Okay, good job, Jim. Thank you. And we have a little bit of a break here in the program. The next race is supposed to start at 8:45, and that's going to be a women's race again. And we'll have UC Santa Barbara in lane 1, the Gauchos, versus Cal, number 1 boat, the Golden Bears, in lane number 2. So a little bit of break until 8:45.
All right, this is race number 13. Lane number 1, UC Santa Barbara, and lane 2, California. Golden Bears on the lead. Going comfortably on the lead. Now coming into view is UC Santa Barbara's crew at 33 and a half. That 20-minute break turned out to be about 15 minutes, or excuse me, 5 minutes, as the crews lined up and we're back on schedule. Once again, race number 13, women's eights. Your race leader is California. California's number 1 crew dominating this particular race. Cal Coxon going to the correct side of the buoy this time. And Santa Barbara now with, I'll just put it this way, as they say in Henley, California easily in front. And with that, we'll return to the starter and we'll return back towards the starting line. Back to you, Bob.
Pleased with this because that crew looks really sharp. Nice blade. Orange Coast in lane number 2 looks really sharp as well. So could have a really nice race coming down the course. About 200 meters in, Orange Coast is still at about 36 strokes a minute. And Cal's at 39. So I can see that Coach Al Acosta is getting his crews ready for the San Diego Crew Classic in a couple more weeks, I guess about a month. That should be a good shootout down there. They'll have a lot of bigs. They'll have the University of Texas national champions, NCAA champions, Stanford, the number 2 crew at the NCAAs, a lot of good crews at the Crew Classic this year. So at about 300 meters in, the Golden Bears have a little bit of open water on Orange Coast, and I'm sure that Coach Jorgensen's going to have a lot of nice things to say about these crews. So go for it, Jim.
Always nice things. California is on the lead. Once again, showing a lot of discipline, control, and movement together. Very impressive. Orange Coast is maintaining their boat speed with about a boat and a half length of open water between the Pirate crew and the Golden Bear crew. Crews now approach the halfway mark. And as you say, California is striking the water at 39. Orange Coast at 36 and a half. So halfway done, your race leader, the Golden Bears, University of California, closest to the shore in lane 1. White shell, yellow singlets, and of course their blue and gold blades. And now coming into view, the Orange Coast College Pirates, orange shell, orange tops, white and orange blades. I can still hear the Cal coxswain as they now are about 3.5, 4 boat lengths of clear water on the lead. I can hear their coxswain wanting more. And I heard the coxswain yelling, "You're at 39." So they're not taking their foot off the gas at all. They're wanting to see how fast they can go over this 1,400 meter course. So in control, the University of California crew that you're racing and wanting to make your boat go as fast as possible. Crews are now coming up to us. And it looks like as they become a beam of us that, in fact, it's Irvine on the lead. Irvine in lane 1, closest to the shore as it comes into the view of the camera. And Santa Clara out here in lane 2. Okay, I'm almost sitting even with their bow balls now, and it is the Anteaters from UC Irvine with a 2-seat advantage. Irvine at 36 strokes per minute. Matched by Santa Clara's 36 strokes per minute. So once again, it's 3 seats now for the lead crew. That's UC Irvine. Their coxswain looks over and is telling them her crew exactly where they stand. The crew wants to know what their stroke rate is. With the speed coach now, what their split rate is, but most importantly, where they are in respect to the other crew. Irvine continues to eke their way out, now with a 6, now make it 7, now almost 8 seats. Irvine making a big lift here to try to shake off this Bronco crew. Still an overlap, so it's still not out of the question that Santa Clara might mount a ferocious finish, but Irvine's looking very crisp, clean, and fast. So as we approach the American Legion Hall, your race leader, race number 15, UC Irvine, number 1, Shell. By now, 8 seats. The coxswain now is looking over at the bow person of the Santa Clara crew. And it looks like they have the race under control. Back to you at the start, Bob.
Okay, we're queuing up the crews here for race number 16. This will be the last women's race in this flight, and this will be UC Santa Barbara's number 2 crew and UC Irvine's number 3 crew in the right-hand lane number 2. So UC Santa Barbara's number 2 in lane 1 and UC Irvine's number 3 in lane number 2. And I'm telling you, this alignment looks perfect. These coaches have really got these coxswains on top of it now. And they're off. Both crews, this will be interesting. Both crews have black boats. They're both wearing black and gold uniforms. So lane number 1 is Santa Barbara. And they may not be, it's a black boat, but the oars may be dark navy blue, maybe. So it's lane 1, Santa Barbara, and lane number 2, Irvine's number 3 boat. And they seem to be having some technical thing there right now. I would say that the number 5 oar lost her seat and caught a little crab and almost fell out of the boat. So there's lots of NASCAR level action here in lane number 2. So that's not a fun thing for the crew when somebody has a little technical glitch like that. So at about 300 meters into the course, the Santa Barbara crew has a fairly substantial lead, but now that number 5 oar has got her oar back, I think, and maybe her seat back, and maybe not. So Jim, you can call it from where you are.
They're still a couple hundred meters from us, Bob, but as soon as they come up even, we'll give you what's going on. Sorry to hear about that jump seat or whatever it was, because that certainly doesn't help that crew's opportunity to have the bow cross the line first. But yes, Santa Barbara, lane 1, still on the lead because of that glitch by quite a bit of open water. They're now about 10 strokes from being even with us. So here we go. With a comfortable lead, the Gauchos are rowing a smooth 33 strokes per minute. Irvine, frantically wanting to get back in this race, is rowing close to 36 strokes per minute. But at the halfway mark, your race leader in lane 1, UC Santa Barbara. The Gaucho coxswain calling for a little bit more juice, a little more quickness of the legs, a little more ferocious finish, wanting to get down this course as quickly as possible. We're going to hold back now and get some shots of the Irvine crew and see if they in fact have resolved their equipment problem. It seems like all of the seats are moving back and forth, but you can see they're a little bit frantic, and you can see there's not much ratio. That is the time from the release of the blade from the water to coming back to the next catch. But they are racing, and they are learning. So, once again, Santa Barbara on the lead, comfortably. Irvine in second. Return it back to you at the starting line, Bob.
Oh yeah, Jim. Heading race coming up. We've got the number 1 boat from Cal and the number 1 boat for UCLA. So if nothing else, we have bragging rights for the northern half of the state of California going on here in, I would say, less than 2 minutes, because these coxswains are right in the game and these crews are ready to go. So number 1, California's number 1 boat, in a white boat with blue singlets, navy blue. Lane number 2, UCLA Bruins, in a bright yellow boat with white singlets and horizontal stripes around their chest. Yeah, these are two really good crews. So this'll be fun one to watch. The liner is getting ready to call this one ready, and the starter will have them off, I would say, within seconds. They're ready to go. This is exciting. And they're off and running. Cal's off at 43 and looks really solid. And UCLA is really, really tidy. This will be good. UCLA is at 43. Both crews at 40. About 150 meters down the course. And Cal's making up the stagger just a little bit. California still at 41. That coxswain's keeping his foot on the accelerator until they're a little bit of a comfort zone over UCLA. And I'll tell you what, UCLA's not giving them an inch. This is an interesting dichotomy, though, because when you look at it, by the way, UCLA's at 39 right now, and Cal's moving on them. California is the #1 varsity crew in the United States last year, at least as far as varsities were concerned. And UCLA has one of the best club programs in the United States. So it's great that the two can get together and race here in Newport Beach. And so rowing fans can appreciate all of this.
Okay, Bob, they're coming in front of...
Right down in your neighborhood, Cal seems to be moving a little bit, but this is going to be exciting.
Thanks, Bob. In lane 2. Cal, obviously, this is the marquee race of the day, with both #1 crews throwing punches at each other. California still on the lead. But UCLA has good boat speed. They just seem to be going a little bit higher than California at the current time. Let me check the stroke ratings. Cal at 36.5. UCLA at 37. California now, I just heard the coxswain from California say, I've got their bow ball. In fact, they've got more than a bow ball. They've got about 8 feet of clear water. But very impressive showing by UCLA in terms of hanging with this California crew. We're coming up to the American Legion Hall with the race leader in lane 1, California, UCLA in lane 2. They've got that 10 feet of open water, but UCLA hasn't fallen an inch back from there. So with about 200 meters to go, California is in control of this race, and now the coxswain is calling to take the rate up. So it's California, your race leader, followed by UCLA.
Okay, we're getting the crews lined up here for race number 19. excuse me, 18. This is Orange Coast College in lane number 1, and Cal B boat in lane number 2. This ought to be a really good shootout. The Orange Coast crew is in a bright yellow boat with white oars, white singlets with an orange stripe, and California is in a white boat with navy blue singlets. One coxswain's hands up. They have the crews are aligned, and the starter is, this race is off. Orange Coast in lane number 1 on the left-hand side seems to be moving up on California right away. And this will be a barn burner coming down the course. Orange Coast at 41 strokes a minute, about 150 meters in. And California at 38 strokes a minute. And I would say Orange Coast is moving up just a little bit on Cal. These crews are really even right now. I would say it's dead even as they're going down the course. And Orange Coast has a lot to be proud of. This crew looks really good, really sharp rowing here. Orange Coast at 38, and California at 37. Very even race. And those of you that are lucky enough to be looking at our drone's eye view here with our pilot Grant, this race is really close, and I'm sure that Coach Jorgensen's going to have a lot of fun calling this one.
Yes, I am, Bob. They're coming to the halfway point, pretty much level, dead even, as you can see on the screen. California with maybe a half a seat advantage as we approach the halfway mark. This is fun to watch, painful to participate. But still, California ever so slowly moving themselves ahead of Orange Coast College. Once again, Orange Coast closest to the shore in the yellow shell. California closest to the camera in the white shell. Cal now has a half a boat length advantage. Golden Bears rowing, I wouldn't say comfortably, at 37 and a half, but they are very level, very horizontal with their approach. Orange Coast now making a bit of a move, trying to move back into the lead of the Golden Bears. Okay, Coast Coxswain calling for more. California now with a 6-seat advantage. I can hear the Cal Coxswain wanting to get on the bow ball, meaning sit a beam of the bow ball of Orange Coast. Coast boat is there, it's just Cal has a little bit stronger finish and are maintaining that lead. Once again, as they come towards the finish line, Orange Coast still with an overlap on California, but it's going to be California, your race leader, coming to the line in that number 1 position. California in the white hull, Orange Coast in the yellow hull. Flag is up at the finish line. Still an overlap. Congratulations to Coast for staying right with California. California comes across the line first, followed by Orange Coast College in second. Back to you, Bob, at the start.
All right, great racing, and we've got race number 19 queued up and off. Got Santa Clara in lane 1 and Santa Barbara, both of their A boats coming down. More super racing. Congratulations to the coaches and crews here. This is really good. And one of the interesting observations here off the start, the Santa Barbara crew has a tandem on the 7 and 6 seats with their rigging. So that'll be interesting for the sports fans down by the finish line. And as we go down the course, about 100 meters in, Santa Clara has made up the stagger on the start and seems to be moving out on Santa Barbara at this point. Nice to sing both crews. Santa Clara's moving up on 36.5 strokes a minute, and they've got about a half a boat length right now on the Santa Barbara crew, and the Santa Barbara crew seems to be really deliberate on their stroke rate. Yeah, they're rowing at 34, and this is an early season race for everybody, but even on this level, it's hard to get overstroked by 2 or 3 strokes a minute and hang in there. So Santa Clara in lane 1 with the black singlets and the red oars, and Santa Barbara in lane number 2 with the white boat. Jim, should just about be in your neighborhood there.
And they are, Bob. Thank you. We just got back from the finish of that last race, which was a thriller. And this one is a good one as well. Once again, on the lead in lane 1 is Santa Clara, number 1 boat. And the coxswain at the halfway point calls for a lift of the crew. They have about 10 feet, make that 15 feet of open water. So, Broncos in good control, rowing at a brisk 37 strokes per minute. We got your crew here at 37 as well. So, because the race course is shorter than a traditional 2,000 meter race, all crews are rowing a bit above their normal race pace rating. We're approaching the American Legion Hall, which is about 200 meters from the finish, and it's Santa Clara in control of this race in lane 1. Followed by UC Santa Barbara in lane 2. We're going to turn here and back to you at the start, Bob.
All right, and we're working our way right through this California Challenge Cup Regatta, which, wow, we can all celebrate this one. Beautiful morning here in Newport Beach.
We might want to go slow. I don't know if this is a harbor
pretty much stabilized a little bit. It seems to be a little bit out of the south and west, and all of the beautiful yachts here in front of the Newport Harbor Yacht Club, which has hosted our command center and starting line area this morning. They're drifting at anchor, all the moored boats out in front of the yacht club here. Their bows are pointed to the southwest, and a little breeze here. These veteran coxswains are handling this in their typical good form. And we're getting ready for race number 20 to come up next. This will be UC San Diego's number 1 crew and UC Irvine's number 1 crew. So 2 ones going at it here. UC San Diego will be in a black boat in lane number 1, and Irvine will be in a bright white boat in lane number 2. And these coxswains are doing an outstanding job bringing the crews up for the start. This is going to be a good one. Oh, UC San Diego's number 1 boat in a black boat, black singlets. UC Irvine in lane number 2 in a white boat, with black singlets. So here we go. San Diego versus Irvine. Again, I guess you'd say this is for the bragging rights of the southern half of California. Good job.
Yes, I think I'll have another cookie. Thank you for asking. God, these things are good. UC San Diego has, then it's just a question of keeping the rhythm, maybe taking it down a beat, although coming back. And the coaches have told them it's about the time over the course and to check to see how your endurance is from your winter training. And UC San Diego looks quite fit as they move down the course. Coming up to the last 200 meters, once again, race leader in lane 1, UC San Diego. Now about 2 boat lengths of clear water astern is UC Irvine in lane 2. UC San Diego's in control, so we'll turn it back over to you and return towards the starting line. Bob, it's all yours. Yes, much like the month of March that roared in like a lion, the Lions are on the lead here in lane number 2. As you said, white blades, white singlets, white shell. They have about a half boat length of clear water over Long Beach State. Once again, since most crews will be racing at least 2 races, this is a good time to see how fit you are in terms of doing the burn of the lactate in your legs, your trides, and Loyola's doing a nice job here, maintaining a comfortable lead over Long Beach State. They're not sitting back on anything. They're going at 39 strokes per minute. 39 strokes per minute. Long Beach at 37 and a half. At 37 and a half. But Loyola Marymount University, your race leader in lane 2. A clear advantage over the 49ers from Long Beach State. So we're going to turn around here and turn it back over to you at the start, Bob.
Good work. We're getting ready for race number 22 here, another men's 8 race with UCLA's number 2 boat in lane number 1 and Santa Clara University's boat, number 2 boat in lane number 2. So the Bruins are in a bright yellow boat with white singlets, and Santa Clara's in a white boat with black shirts on. So this should be good. You see a little bit of a problem arising here. The Santa Clara crew seems to be drifting to the right a little bit and aimed right at my big orange tetrahedron here. So I'm hoping we can get this aligned and off. Coxswain seemed to be making appropriate adjustments here, and we should have a race any second now. UCLA looks sharp in their uniforms. They have powder blue oars and powder blue trowel and nice singlets. Good looking crew. Really good looking. Very professional looking. So the crew's lined. Santa Clara's coxswain's hands up, and they are off. Here they go. Both crews number 2 boats. But the Bruins from Marina del Rey are off at 39 strokes a minute. Really nice, deliberate rowing. Super coaching, super program. There's a lot to be said for this. This is a very elite club rowing program. And I'll tell you what, Santa Clara's going for the gold here in the first 2 minutes. They're off at 43.5 strokes a minute, and they're not giving UCLA an inch. So yeah, we've got a really interesting race shaping up here, Coach Jorgensen. And let me get a little stroke rate on UCLA. Yeah, UCLA's at 36, and Santa Clara's overstroking them still. So, you know, given that this is a 1,400-meter race today, Santa Clara seems to be front-loading their race plan a lot here, but they're moving out on UCLA. So it should be interesting when it gets down your way, Jim.
Yes, it is. Santa Clara is pretty close to where our launch is, so we're going to have to stay clear. And as you mentioned, with this shortness of the course and the fact there's a tailwind, you can keep that rating up a bit higher and get away with it. Still, very close race, overlap with Santa Clara with a slight lead. Okay, here we go. Santa Clara with a 4-seat advantage over UCLA. Make that 6 seats. And it's just a question of fatigue and conditioning. We'll see if UCLA can come back as we approach the halfway point, 750 meters. Santa Clara Coxswain wanting more from her crew. The Bruins are starting to move. Santa Clara at 37.5 strokes per minute. UCLA at 36.5 strokes per minute. So the lowest stroking Bruins, if they're fit, should be able to, when it's go time, sprint time, to be able to close the gap, and in fact they are right now. Santa Clara is at almost 39, and UCLA only sits one seat down as we approach 250 meters to the finish line. We're going to follow this one down because this is a barn burner. UCLA once again in lane 1, going in the Mike Bennett M-Pocker. Both coxswains now demanding their crew have a strong finish and take the rate up. Santa Clara still with a slight advantage. It's a question of who wants to go up and who wants it more. Santa Clara pushing out now to 3 seats as we're within 15 strokes to the finish. UCLA now going up with their stroke cadence, but it's still Santa Clara in lane 2 with a 3-seat advantage. UCLA is going up. Oh my goodness, here they come. We're down to about the last 10 strokes. Santa Clara's holding on. Flag is up at the finish line. And going across the line first will be Santa Clara, followed by UCLA. Very close. But from our perspective, unofficially, in lane 2, the Broncos from Santa Clara, your race winner.
Okay, Jim, we've had a lot of action down here while you've had that barn burner going on. UC San Diego and Orange Coast number 2 boat have started, and now we're on race number 24. UC Irvine's number 2 boat and San Diego State's number 1 boat have just left the starting line. So we got all kinds of exciting racing going on here in Newport today, and it's one of the real beauties of this 2-boat racing, particularly on the short course. The athletes get a lot of races in, and there's not a lot of turnaround time. I mean, you couldn't have a better format for an early season data. So now race number 24 is coming down with Irvine in lane number 1 and San Diego State Aztecs in lane number 2. And both of these crews seem to be very well coached, nice deliberate rowing. San Diego State, I would say that Irvine's made up a little bit of the stagger here. So this is going to be a really exciting race, I can tell that, all the way down the course with Irvine in lane 1, San Diego State in 2. And keep in mind that this is Irvine's number 2 boat, and San Diego State's number 1. And I'll tell you what, these crews are getting pretty close together here. We had a little clashing going on of the oars, but now the coxswains are moving away, and Irvine's still moving up on San Diego State. And Coach Jorgensen, I don't know where you are on the course right now, but we got another one coming at you, and those oars are clashing again, and a little crabbing going on, so lots of action, Jim.
Okay, Bob, the crews are now coming up to the halfway buoy. And once again, lane 1 is UC Irvine, lane 2 is San Diego State. And the boats are overlapped, meaning that they're going side by side. It's a question of discipline, rowing in your own boat, making your boat go as fast as possible. That's always the case. UC Irvine's number 2 boat with a 8-seat advantage over San Diego State. very fair conditions. The tide is slack right now, and it's just a question of a little bit of a cross tailwind, but no crew really has an advantage in terms of the elements. You see Irvine at 36 and a half strokes per minute. And San Diego State at 36 strokes per minute. So with 250 meters to go, your race leader in control, UC Irvine, followed by San Diego State. We're going to stop here and get back in sequence and get back towards the starting line. Back to you, Bob.
Yeah, good of you. That race was a little bit early. As a matter of fact, we've got a break in the regatta right now, and race number 25 will start at 10 o'clock. So the starting line is signing off for a few minutes here, and everybody can give their ears and eyes a little rest. All right. Good morning, all.
Oh my God! Who let you here?
Which girlfriend is he
Okay, we're about ready for the 10 o'clock start of race number 25. California Golden Bears in lane number 1, Santa Clara University in lane number 2. Both crews are rowing white shells, the Bears in gold, and Santa Clara in black uniforms. So the race is off. Cal crew looks really sharp. This is a good-looking crew. Good job, Coach Al Acosta and Adrian Martelli. So Cal's off at 44 strokes a minute. Crews are up 20 strokes in now. And Santa Clara's settled down to 36 strokes a minute. Got a great view from our drone here, and the California crews made up that stagger at the start and are just moving right out on Santa Clara. Cal's at 36 strokes a minute and almost got a boat length right now on Santa Clara. Great condition out here this morning. Kind of a contrast from a year ago today, when the races got curtailed because of the breeze. Right now, as a matter of fact, it seems to have dropped down. The winds dropped down just a little bit this morning. And California's got open water right now on Santa Clara. And we got another race queuing up to get started here. So, Coach Jorgensen, maybe you can have a look at that Cal crew coming down at you.
I will, Coach Ernst. And California is your race leader as they approach the halfway mark. Showing great precision, equally matched by their power, rowing at 37 strokes per minute. About 2 boat lengths of open water between their stern and the bow of the Santa Clara crew. Santa Clara rowing a little shorter and not higher, but ratio could use some improvement. So once again, your race leader in a comfortable position, the Golden Bears from the University of California in lane 1, closest to the shore, followed by Santa Clara University in lane 2. With this comfortable lead, we're going to return it back to the start. Back to you, Bob. It's all yours.
All right, thanks, Jim. And with the California Challenge Cup Precision here at the start, we've got another race off already, race number 26 with UC Irvine's number 1 boat. These are women's crews now. UCI's number 1 boat versus Cal's number 2 boat. And this should be an interesting one. Remember that California crew is one of the top crews in the NCAA every year with Al Acosta's group there at Berkeley. And they're facing off against one of the better club crews, the UCI women's crew. So a little bit of contrast here, but the good club crews against some really good varsity crews, good NCAA level crews. And they should be down in Coach Jorgensen's area any moment now.
Yes, they are. They're coming close to our position here at the halfway point. The demonstrative leader, once again, is the University of California in lane 2. The coxswain calling for a power move here at 37.5 strokes per minute. You might even be able to hear. It's It's really nice to watch crews who are direct with their entry, their catch, knees changing direction from coming up to going down, and the boat, of course, going fast. So once again, California with a comfortable lead over UC Irvine as they are within 300 meters from the finish. I'll let that race pan out, and we'll turn it back over to you, Bob, at the start.
All right, good, Jim. We're getting ready for race number 27 right now. This is also another women's crew race. And in lane number 1, we've got the Pirates of Orange Coast College, orange boat, orange long sleeves. And in lane number 2, the Gauchos of UC Santa Barbara. And these crews are just about ready to roll. It's going to be kind of an interesting drone's eye view. Just a little bit, the Santa Barbara crew just a little bit askew of the race course here. One coxswain's hand up. Okay, well, the little southwest breeze has pushed the crews over onto the orange starting line buoy. So everybody's going to back up here and try and pull them down and get started again in a couple of minutes. So stand by. Again, Orange Coast College Pirates in lane number 1 in a bright orange boat with orange singlets. Looking good. And in lane number 2, the UC Santa Barbara Gauchos in a black boat with probably navy blue and gold tank tops. Okay, we got a new alignment here for race 27. Okay. Not yet. The Santa Barbara crew has blown over into the starting line buoy again. And we got some chaps putting up the jib on their sailboat right in front of us. So we got all kinds of action here at the starting line. Probably another 2 or 3 minutes for the Santa Barbara crew to back up and get realigned. The breeze here has captured them on the starting line. Never gets windy on Lake Kachuma, so maybe they don't have this to worry about there. Okay, we've got a start on race number 27 here with Orange Coast #1 boat and UC Santa Barbara's #1 boat. And I'll tell you what, the Orange Coast boat's on kind of a tangent here, and it would be a shame to see that nice orange boat wrapped around a dock, but they are close in. So if you got a drone's eye view here, whatever you do, don't tell your insurance agent. Okay, the crew's off with Orange Coast in lane 1 in the orange boat and UC Santa Barbara in lane number 2. And these are both the #1 crews, the A boats from both schools. So here, another one of those interesting dichotomies here. You've got a community college, varsity sport, racing against UC Santa Barbara, which is a University of California club crew. So we've got a lot of interesting matchups here today, and all the better for racing. And about 300 meters down the course, the Santa Barbara crew is still got about a half a boat length on Orange Coast. Both crews are rowing about 35 strokes a minute, and this looks like it could be an interesting one for you when they get down there, Jim.
Yes, indeed. They're coming into our range, and there's still overlap between the two crews. Once again, Orange Coast on the shore side, lane 1, as is the term Orange Coast, Orange Shell. Oh, the 3 crew member in the Orange Coast crew caught a partial crab, almost went over her head, but gathered it nicely. And here they are, coming up a beam of us. Let's take some stroke checks. Santa Barbara, closest to the camera, is at 37 strokes per minute, sitting 8 to 10 seats up on Orange Coast College. Orange Coast striking the water at 35 strokes per minute. The Pirates are very tenacious, not letting the Gauchos move away. Their bow numbers even with the coxswain of the Santa Barbara crew. So boat speed relative the same. It's just that Santa Barbara, perhaps from that tangential steering that you talked about, Bob, has taken advantage. Santa Barbara now starting to move away a little bit further, about 10, 15 feet of clear water as we approach the American Legion Hall, which is about 250 meters from the finish. So the Gauchos from UC Santa Barbara in lane 2 on the lead over Orange Coast College And unless something radically changes, that's the way they should finish. So we'll turn around here and go back towards the starting line. And Bob, it's back in your court.
All right, you're going to have to hustle back because we've got race number 28 coming right at you right now. And they're about 300 meters in already. And this will be UC Santa Barbara's number 2 boat in lane number 1 and UCI's number 2 boat in lane number 2. And I'll tell you what, these officials are doing a great job today here, getting these crews lined up and off the course and starting the races. It's fantastic. So we've got great conditions out here. And any minute now, we're going to be starting the last flight of the men's racing today. That'll be event number 29. So Jim, you got the last women's race coming at you, and the guys will be on deck soon.
Race 28 is now within our view. Once again, this is UC Santa Barbara number 2 crew in lane 1 and UC Irvine crew number 2 crew in lane 2. There remains an overlap between the two crews, with UC Santa Barbara owning a slight lead. UC Santa Barbara at 33.5 strokes per minute. Irvine at 35. So quite a test this early in the season to be racing 3 races, not rolling 3 races. So it's a good indication for the individual athlete in terms of their training base, how they're able to deal with accumulation of lactate, and seeing how fast the boats are going this early in the season. But as we approach the American Legion Hall, your race leader in lane 1, UC Santa Barbara, followed by UC Irvine. With about 10 feet of clear water, and we'll let them go towards the finish line as we return towards the start. Back to you, Coach Ernst, at the starting line.
All right, Jim, we're queuing up the last flight of the men's races now. This will be race number 29, and it'll be San Diego State in lane 1 and Long Beach. It says Long Beach in lane 2, so we'll see. All right. And we're off with race number 29 with San Diego State in lane number 1 in a white shell with white singlets, and Long Beach State in lane number 2 with gold singlets and a yellow boat. And I'll tell you what, Long Beach State is flying off the starting line with a purpose. So San Diego State's going to have their hands full getting back in contact with this group from Long Beach. So San Diego State's at 39, and my guess is Long Beach is significantly higher than that. Matter of fact, they've settled down to 36 now, and Long Beach is moving out on San Diego State. So we're in the last flight of racing here now, and the regatta will run through 11 o'clock. From now on in the racing, it will be all cup races, okay? So these athletes from now on are racing for trophies. So take it, Jim, pick up the San Diego State and Long Beach State race, and next up will be Orange Coast and Irvine's B-Boats boat.
All right, I'll pick it up now as the two crews approach. On the lead, as you said, is still the 49ers from Long Beach State. But San Diego is going toe-to-toe with them. As they come up level, I'll be able to tell you the advantage that Long Beach over San Diego State. And it's not that much, maybe 3 seats. That means that Long Beach's 3-man sits even with the bowman, but Long Beach is starting to move here at the halfway point. Long Beach at 35.5 strokes per minute. And the Aztecs from San Diego State also at 35 strokes per minute. As you can see, if you're watching the live stream, Long Beach State has about a half a boat over San Diego State. It's a question of rhythm together over water, catches and releases together, and of course, a moment of emphasis through the leg drive, body, and arms that really make boats go fast. Long Beach continues to eke their way out, gaining another seat. The Irvine coxswain now sits even with the bowman of San Diego State as we approach the American Legion Hall, 250 meters to go. And we're going to let the race continue to the finish line as I turn it back over to you, Bob.
Well, as we speak, Jim, race number 30 is underway. Orange Coast B versus UCI B. And I would say they're probably about 350 meters down the course. And Orange Coast is doing a nice job. They've got about 2 or 3 seats over the Irvine crew. And as I said, this is Orange Coast B and Irvine B. So can you imagine? They probably see each other every day out on the water, and now they're finally getting to beat up on each other. So they're halfway, Jim, and they'll be in your area in no time.
Yes, we're coming back towards them as they race towards the finish line, and another good race as it should be for these cup races with Orange Coast College on the lead. Orange Coast College in lane 1, leading UC Irvine. These races are coming down fast and furious, so it's tough for us to get more than about 2 minutes of race time before the next race starts. But Orange Coast in control of this race over UC Irvine with about 15 feet of open water. They're at 250 meters to go, and so we'll turn around as they race towards the finish with Orange Coast College in lane 1 leading UC Irvine.
Okay, Jim, next up, race 31. And this is called the Experian Challenge Cup. And it's Loyola Marymount University and UCLA B. So this is another one of those races where they both train on the same body of water in Marina del Rey. So these athletes probably see each other every day, and they probably have a bagel riding on this race or something like that. And so the Bruins in lane number 2 in a yellow boat with blue oars, and Loyola Marymount Lions in lane number 1 in a white boat with white oars. UCLA and UCLA's B boat and Loyola's A boat for the Experian Challenge Cup. And we're ready to roll here in less than 30 seconds. Okay, the crews are aligned. Starter's flag is up, and they're off with Loyola in lane 1 on the west side and UCLA in lane 2 on the east side. Loyola 42 strokes a minute. And UC at 39 strokes a minute, and UCLA is moving up already on the Loyola crew. And I've said it before this morning, this UCLA bunch is clearly one of the better club crews in the whole country. So everybody who's watching these races wants to make sure you get a good look at them. And I can tell you that the old boys from UCLA are making a big effort to support the athlete and the coaches, the athletes and the coaches from UCLA, and make this the very best club rowing program that they can. So my hat's off to those guys. About 200 meters in, UCLA has open water on Loyola, and they're dominating this race. This is the Experian Challenge Cup, and this is UCLA B versus Loyola's A boat. So, Jim, get a good look at your Bruins coming that way, man.
Here they come. Very, very nice rowing by the lead crew, and that's probably what leading. We've got power.
moved on the other yet. Very sharp looking crews. As a matter of fact, right now, Santa Barbara seems to be moving out just a little bit on the anteaters in lane number 1. Santa Barbara at 34.5 strokes a minute. And Irvine at 34. Santa Barbara has almost a boat length now on Irvine, about 350 meters down the course. So, Jim, this is the Waypoint Construction Cup with UCI's A boat, their first boat, and UC Santa Barbara's first boat. So have a look, Jim. Tell us about it.
We're waiting at the halfway buoy. And as you say, the Gauchos in lane 2, UC Santa Barbara on the lead. Santa Barbara striking at 36 strokes per minute. Very crisp, direct catches. UC Irvine a couple of beats higher. $37.5 for the Anteaters. The coxswain's demanding open water from this lead crew as we continue to push the shells towards the finish line. It's one of those things. You want to see how much you can put into each of these races, and particularly the last one of the day. All you've got to do afterwards is to recover and then sleep well tonight. Bowman of the Santa Barbara boat yells out yes. Another member of their crew yelling, which does not help in terms of their win. But they're at least one boat length of open water as we approach 250 to go. Once again, this is the Waypoint Construction Cup with UC Santa Barbara in control over UC Irvine. Back to you at the start.
All right, Jim, and we're queuing up for the Bob Newman Challenge Cup. Now, a little story about Bob Newman. He's one of the guys here today that has really touched several of these programs. Bob rode Orange Coast. He was a U.S. national team rower from Orange Coast. He rode at UCLA, was one of their big guns there. He's coached at UCLA, coached at UCI. So Bob Newman's probably touched more of these programs than anybody else in the crowd, that's for sure. But we got a cup race for Bob Newman Challenge Cup with Santa Clara in lane number 1 and Orange Coast A in lane number 2. And both of these crews are really good. So y'all want to have a good look at them coming down here. Santa Clara's in a white boat in lane 1. And Orange Coast is in a bright yellow boat in lane number 2. Crews are aligned. And they're at this, ready for the start. And they're off. This is going to be a good one. Okay, we got the oars overlapping here. Orange Coast got a little crook-eyed there in the first 10 strokes, but it's all good now. Santa Clara's off at 43. And Orange Coast is 20 strokes in at rate 40, and Orange Coast is out to win this race. Santa Clara is a 4-year university, and Orange Coast is absolutely the best community college in California, one of the best in the country, and they got almost a boat length now, 200 meters in, and they've got open water on Santa Clara. So Bob Newman and the Bob Newman Challenge Cup will be pretty pumped about this when they go past him down there at Marina Park. Orange Coast at a really comfortable looking 36, good spacing, good blade work. Really nice race here from the Pirates of Orange Coast. Jim, they should just about be in your zone down there, so pick up the Bob Newman Challenge Cup coming at you.
Do, and they are. Once again, white shirts, orange horizontal bands, and Parker shell. Orange Coast on the lead. Challenge Cup. Still a bit of an overlap. Santa Clara is not going away as Orange looks to get some open water. Orange Coast at 35.5 strokes per minute. Now with about 15 feet of clear water over Santa Clara. Once again, I can hear one of the oarsmen from the Coast crew yelling yes. And yes, indeed, they're on the lead. Orange Coast, once again, a community college from Costa Mesa, California, rolling out of a David A. Grant boathouse on the Coast Highway. A very comfortable position here as they approach 250 meters to go. Orange Coast College, once again, in lane 2, leads Santa Clara B crew in lane 1. With the Pirates in a comfortable position, we're going to let them race to the finish line, and we'll return it back to you, Bob, at the start.
All right, thanks, and congratulations to Orange Coast A-Boat and Bob Newman for having that Challenge Cup named after him. So, good one for all. And we're waiting for the Dillon Ayers Challenge Cup at 10:45, which will have the Cal B and the UC San Diego B crews in it. So what I see up here in just a couple events, we're going to have that Henry T. Nicholas III Challenge Cup between UC San Diego A and Cal A. So these races between Cal A and B and UC San Diego A and B, this is going to be for the grand championships for the whole state of California. So everybody get ready. This is going to be good stuff. The B boats go up, and then 2 hours later, the A boats go off. So we've got some thrilling racing coming up here. I'll tell you, I'm not really sure who the coach is at UC San Diego now, but they've got some really sharp-looking crews doing some really nice-looking rowing here. And they row on Mission Bay down in San Diego, and the coaches are obviously doing a great job coaching that program up. And here come the Bears in lane number 1. We've got the Bear B boat from California in lane number 1, and UC San Diego B boat in lane number 2. And we got a boatload of sailors pulling their boat off of the dock and trying to avoid the crews, I think. Okay, working up for the start now of the Dillon Ayers Challenge Cup. Event 34, the Dillon Ayers Challenge Cup. And you might have guessed that all of these crews, this is their 3rd race of the day, and they're paired up in these cup races based on their performance of their first 2 races of the day. So this will be a good one with San Diego versus Cal. And I'm not sure, but this could be Cal's freshman boat because they sent their 3rd varsity and their freshman boat here to race. They're lined up. And the officials are polling the coxswains to see if they're ready to go. And they're off with Cal in lane 1 and San Diego in lane 2. So go Bears and go Toreros. And Titans too. It's at 42 and a half. And I'll tell you what, University of California, San Diego is moving out on the Bears. San Diego is not taking the back seat to anybody in this race. So this is going to be exciting. All right. San Diego's at 40 strokes a minute, 300 meters in, and they've almost got open water on Cal. And Cal's at 37 strokes a minute, and I've just been told that not only is this a cup race, these guys are racing for shirts now. So this is heavy-duty stuff. Not only are they racing for California bragging rights, the whole bloody state, they're racing for each other's shirts. So when they get down to the finish line, I'll tell you what, Bears don't give up their shirts very easily. And as we speak, the Bears are slowly inching back. Jim, go for it. It's going to be good.
Will do. Halfway down, you see San Diego still on the lead by 6, maybe 7 seats over the Golden Bears from California. You see San Diego striking the water at 37 strokes per minute. California at 38. Both crews throwing some big punches here. California now putting a press on, trying to leverage up to take away and discourage San Diego from staying on that lead. And they are moving. Once again, California closest to the shore, furthest from the camera in the white shell. Now just sit a half boat down on UC San Diego. California bowman takes a peek over, see where he is with respect to the other crew as we have 250 meters to go. UC San Diego holding on to a lead, but California is moving. Cal now at 41 figures, hey, throw everything out, throw in the kitchen sink, let's go for it. San Diego responds back, still holding that 3-seat advantage as we have less than 150 meters to go. Have your camera ready at the finish. UC San Diego at 40. California matching them. UC San Diego continues to hold on barely. California, I think they're going to run out of water here as we're within 5 strokes of the finish. The flag is up at the finish. Crossing line first is UC San Diego, followed by the California crew. Back to you at the start. Great race.
All right, Jim, and we got another one coming at you already. This is the Philip Marshall Durborough Cup, and this will be UCLA's A-boat and Santa Clara's A-boat. And about 250 meters in, it's just about, UCLA's managed to hold Santa Clara at just about the stagger that they started. Maybe Santa Clara has gotten a couple of seats on UCLA, but these crews look very deliberate. They're rowing great, both of them. UCLA's at 37. Santa Clara's at 37. They're rowing stroke for stroke, and Santa Clara is sitting on UCLA about a half a length up. So great race. Maybe UCLA is starting to inch back into them, Jim. So this is the Philip Marshall Duro Cup. And Jim, you're going to have a good call again. And
we've got it here. We've got it. They're coming to us with about 400 meters to go. Sorry, Bob. They're coming towards us. We followed that last race to the finish, and this is going to be a tight one. Santa Clara in lane 2 with a little bit of advantage right now as they come up to the American Legion Hall. Santa Clara sits 4 seats up as UCLA is putting their legs to it, their backs to it, their outer arm to it. This Santa Clara crew, this Bronco crew is pretty darn tenacious. Half a boat advantage for the crew in lane 2, closest to the camera, furthest from the shore, Santa Clara. Much like the last race, it's a question of will Santa Clara hold on or can UCLA power through? Less than 150 meters to go. It's still Santa Clara, your race leader, with UCLA going for it. It's a question of how much water remains. Right now, Santa Clara still has a 2, maybe 3 seat advantage as they approach the finish line. The flag is up, really close, very close. The flag goes down for the first crew, up for the second crew. Unofficially, Santa Clara held them off. Great boat race. Back to you at the start.
Okay, the ultimate championship race here today for the men's races. There'll be one more women's race after this, but this is the real showdown for the guys today. And in lane number 1, we have University of San Diego, UC San Diego, And in lane 2, the Golden Bears from the University of California. And I'm sure that Scott Franzen will be proud of his boys. It should be a good showdown here. There's just about aligned, and they are off. Okay, and UC San Diego is at 43, and California is at 47. And I'll tell you what, the Cal guys are rowing like they intend to win this race, the Pac-12s, the IRA, and maybe Henley and the World Championships, and maybe even the Olympics next year. These guys are on a mission. Scott Franzen would love it. So we're 200 meters in, and Cal's got open water on San Diego. And I said before that this is for bragging rights for the whole state of California. So go Bears.
Bob, I've got them on our camera now, and as you say, as I said earlier, the pedigree of collegiate rowing is University of California, and there's more. Cocks and pounds on the gunnels, wanting to make sure his crew doesn't fall asleep. And once again, once the fastest time of the day. We check their rating. Got them at 40. 39. You see San Diego stroking at 39. These guys are hungry. Nothing worse than a hungry bear, particularly a golden one. What you'll see in the camera here is how after the legs go down, when the body's open, watch how strong their finish is. Watch how much they accelerate that handle to their body. When you do that together, that equates to tremendous boat speed, and this boat is flying. Continuing to want more, going for more. California now has about 3 boats of open water over the team from UC San Diego in lane 1. Really a pleasure to watch a crew row well. Very level, very tenacious, very talented. Coming up to the 150 meters, it'll be interesting to see how much they drive that rate up as they sprint for the finish line. University of California, Golden Bears, wanting.
Good stuff, Jim. Well, I guess that settles the intergalactic battle for the state of California, and go Bears. We have one